Welcome to our Teacher Panther Night, or New Student Parent Information Night at Medina Creek Middle School. My name is Brad Benioff. I always say that I have the privilege of being the principal here at Medina Creek. This is an absolutely fantastic place to be. I want to welcome all of you, and we will be welcoming all of your students here. The reason I showed that video, if you've not seen that before, very discerning people in the world choose Medina Creek as their setting, and that was Taylor Swift's video, and you might have recognized the gym and most of the campus in that video was all filmed here, so, and some of our elementary schools as well. So that's what it's going to be. Tonight is really just a start to introduce you to the school, to introduce you to some of the information, the programs. There is no possible way that we can get everybody's questions answered in one night, and all the ideas or fears or whatever information we could possibly give you, it would take all night. And actually, some of the feedback that we've had in the past was I've stood up here and talked to parents for a long period of time and said, way too much. So we're trying to give you an overview, give you as much information as we can, let you know some of the faces that you'll be seeing at Medina Creek. And we really thought that this year would be a lot more fun to hear from a number of our students who have, 1 year ago, were sitting out here having all the same questions, and all of their parents were having the same ideas and worries about jumping into middle school. And we're gonna show you how wonderful they are, and they'll tell you some of their stories and ideas here. Before we get into all of that, I have a couple of other people to hear from and introduce. We have a wonderful parent-faculty association. The school does not function without a cast of thousands, and many of those thousands are parents. As we'll talk about a little bit later, parent involvement does not stop at elementary school. It changes and looks a little bit different at middle school. But we have a huge amount of volunteers, incredibly dedicated and talented people who work for our Parent-Faculty Association. And to tell you a little bit more about that, our president, Jewel John.
My second year, and if I have one thing to say about this school, what you will take away tonight is that the staff, the faculty, everyone is very caring. It might be your first year, but it is not theirs. They have a wealth of experience, and trust them. They will take care of your kids. They will strive to make it an excellent experience for your kids. The PFA, our main method of communication is a weekly e-news, which probably is true also at the elementary schools, but please look at the MCMS website, and you can you're welcome to start receiving those e-news at any time. We do request volunteers. We need your help. We welcome any type of help. Your first opportunity to help will be this August for registration. We will be including a request for volunteers in each of the schools' weekly e-news, so look for that. And please trust me when I say you can do this job, and we appreciate any kind of help. Let me check my notes here. Oh, you will receive a lot of information tonight, but I view the PFA's role as helping the parents transition successfully to middle school, so please think of the PFA as your support network. So on behalf of the PFA, welcome to Medina Creek Middle School. I know your children and you will love it. Thank you very much.
And also, as a support, many of the things that we have here, facilities, all sorts of support comes from the community as well. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Barry Myerson, who is on the Friends of Oak Park Schools. I apologize, Brent, cut my presentation down to 25 minutes, so I'm sorry I'm going to be really short. My name is Barry Myerson.
chairperson of Friends of Oak Park Schools. It's our education foundation here in the district. And Friends basically touches many programs, and a lot of the programs that wouldn't otherwise be offered if we weren't around. You are Friends of Oak Park Schools. At the high school, we have a district science specialist. We also offer support for programs such as the choral and band. And do you know we're having a march? Do you know we have a marching band? How many knows we have a marching band? Do you know that next year we're going to have a marching band full-on uniforms? And it's really cool. Many of you went to the football game and saw the marching band, the very first game they took one step. Then the second game, that's not true. They took a step to the right. But by the end of the year, it was just absolutely incredible. And something to look forward to, something that you'll be able to take advantage of when your children get to high school, because we'll be 3 years into it. The programs that we support include music, robotics, rocketry. How many of you had students that took part in elementary school? You've been touched by friends, maybe I should rephrase that, but you know what I'm saying. How many of you had your children took music in elementary school? Friends sponsored program. How many of your children went on the field trip, the Handicap Island trip? Then you've been supported by Friends. It's a great organization, and it's a great group of board. You should take the board out to dinner. You should actually take the board on vacation with you. If you're going to Hawaii, to eat, take the board with you. We'd love something like that. In addition, now, you'd be really surprised. The money that we raise basically with an appeal letter. When we do it during the fall. And you're really surprised that we have really all the money that we need, which is somewhat surprising. The only problem is a lot of it's still in your pockets. So, we ask that you support Friends and support it generously. But here, tonight, we're going to talk about summer school. Friends sponsors the summer school in the Oak Park School District. And the reason why is that the summer school is no longer supported by the state. Therefore, if it wasn't for Friends of Oak Park Schools, we wouldn't have summer school. We have the only program, one of the only programs in Ventura County for middle school. The classes that we have, and we have brochures, and we have registration, information over on the table back there. Sign-ups go live tonight. The programs we have are great. They're introduction to pre-algebra for incoming 6th grade. We have a lot of programs specifically for incoming 6th graders. Keys to middle school. It's an opportunity for your students to learn more about Medea, study habits, how things change, how algebra works, how science works. When they take this program and then they come onto campus on the first day of school, there's this confidence level that's so different than students that are coming out for the first time. It's a great program. But also this year, we're expanding, and we have 2 band classes. One of them is going to be for concert band, as we call it, and we're having an introduction to band. It's a perfect class for students that are incoming 6th graders that want to get a feel for band, a feel for instruments, a feel for what it's going to be like to be in the high school marching band 3 years from now. Whatever it is. But the sign-ups begin tonight. And then on March 16th, we open it up to the world. So basically, we're going to be handing our same brochures out to the Las Virgenes district. They do not offer a middle school program, and so we're inviting them to help join us. In some cases, it helps fill a class that allows us to keep it. So, summer school information there. I think I'm going to hang, and if anyone's had any questions, but Friends of Oak Park Schools for Education Foundation, thank you very much.
Okay, before we begin, I would like to introduce a few of the faces that are up here that will be helping and presenting, and then answering questions at the end of the night. We have a wonderful counseling staff. We'll talk a little bit about there's differences between elementary school and middle school. One of them is how the counselors are in communication with parents and helpful to kids on a daily basis. Mr. Rob Satomer, Ms. Carol Kellogg, our three counselors. In your package, we have a little bit of an information sheet about counseling, brief description. We tried to hand out a lot of things to you so you don't have to just listen to us. And they have I guarantee you, will get to know your students over the course of the next few years. And they are a wonderful resource for you, for your students, and a bridge to the teachers very often. So, our counselors. We also have several of our 6th grade teaching staff who will be presenting a little bit tonight. Ms. Eva Fast, Mr. Wayne Shea, Ms. Kim Herman, and my partner in crime, our assistant principal, Ms. Amanda McGarry. Okay. On to the show. What to expect when entering middle school. Now, first of all, there's a number of kids here, which is great, and this doesn't always work, but kids, how many of you are excited about going to middle school? Parents, how many of you are excited about your kids going to middle school? Oh, okay. All right. That's actually better than most peers. This is good. This is a good crowd. Most of the time it's like, no! I saw this one recently. What do we get when, I mean, the perceptions of coming into middle school, we get this all the time. It's everywhere in our society, if you will. You see books and magazines, the survival kid, the middle school survival manual. Okay, then there's a whole series of books. How do I survive middle school? Middle school is the worst years of our lives. Again, the survival guide. They're whole books, very popular books. You know, you can get 20 different survival guides. There's more survival guides than the zombie apocalypse. And they're really working at this because it's middle school. There's even a website that's good. All right. The whole theme of tonight, don't panic. Things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. And again, as you're going to hear from some of our students, how many really wonderful things, opportunities there are here. The transitions, this isn't just going to be where they walk in August, early August, to our doors for the very first time. Your students are going to be introduced to the campus a number of times. Today's just scratching the surface. We're going to ask you to come to open house and see everything. We're going to have the students come up from the elementary schools and have a visitation and see classes live. Middle schoolers in the natural habitat. We will see, Barry said, the middle school keys to success. There's a lot of students on campus in summer school even before they start. And then we have something called Camp Medea that kicks off the year. That there's a couple of days where they're on campus just for fun and getting to know a lot of the kids, introduced before they ever start their classes. Then we have registration. So this is just the start. So again, even if you have tons of questions leaving tonight, we'll let you know how that gets answered. But don't worry, don't panic. So, what's the difference between elementary school and middle school? I have a couple of our students, Lily Fuller and Maddie Kozer, who are going to come up and talk about this.
Okay, elementary school. In elementary school, you only have one teacher. In middle school, you have 4 to 5 teachers in your classes of math, science, elective, PE, social studies, and language arts. In elementary school, you had numbers for grades. In middle school, you have letter grades A through F. In elementary school, you had trimester reports, so there were only 3. In middle school, you have quarter grades, which are online. In elementary school, you had recess, lunch, and then recess. Boy, I miss recess. In middle school, you have nutrition and lunch, which is a break from classes. In elementary school, you had packets and folders to hold all your stuff. In middle school, you have 2 websites, which are online grades and report cards online, and it also has your cafeteria balance. In elementary school, you play. In middle school, you hang out, which is a more mature way of playing. In elementary school, you had roll calling on the playground. In middle school, you had parents in your classroom. In middle school, parents are still involved. They're just not in the class every day. In elementary school, we had music and computers and art once a week. In middle school, you have one elective which focuses on one subject. In elementary school, you didn't dress for PE. We only did the mile once a month. In middle school, you have PE every day, and you dress every day, and you run the mile once a week. In elementary school, you ask your teachers if you need anything. In middle school, you go to the student window for questions about classes or schedules, or turning in checks for lunch.
Tribe and Addison Barton are going to talk about middle school for you.
Some common middle school fears we're going to be talking about. One of the big fears I know I had coming to middle school was the bigger kids on campus. And really, you'll probably be scared, but once you're on, no big deal, and they'll call you scrubby a lot, but don't take that offensively, because you'll probably want to call the 6th graders when you're in 7th or 8th grade scrubby, so they're just kidding with it, it's just a big joke. Also, another big thing is that some people say that the bigger kids are going to make fun of you and stuff, but they're really actually nice, and sometimes you make friends with them. And for dances and stuff, so, we can just have a just 6th grader dance, so just 6th graders are involved. But other times we'll have 6th, 7th, and 8th, but it's fun having them sometimes. We come early for 30 minutes of the dance sometimes, and then the 7th and 8th graders come in, and then we leave early so we can show our own parts of the dance. And here's Colin and Chase.
Okay, another big fear of middle school is a bigger school. I'm going to get lost or be late. So I haven't been late this year at all. And from my 5th grade to 6th grade transition, I have to go from PE, which is around right here, to my locker and to the other side of the school for my next class. And I still have a minute to spare.
You might think that you're going to forget your classes, but you don't. I thought I was going to, but I thought I was just going to walk into the wrong room, but I didn't. And then you also need to be sure that you're not just walking in while you're with your friends. You actually have to try to get to class, not just stop with your friends. Another big fear is if your peer group will change or if you're going to fit in. Your peer group really doesn't change. If anything, you make more friends. And you are better friends with the kids older than you because there's more of a connection than if they're 1st grade in elementary school and you're in 4th grade.
So definitely, when you get into your new classes, you'll meet lots of new kids, like Chase said. And a little tip is, be nice. Okay, we're doing this again. PE. So we really have to dress for PE. So at first, it was kind of awkward dressing, but after a while, it gets normal and you just chat.
Yeah, you get used to it after a while, and you have a separate locker for anything that you have to remember a different combination for, but you don't forget the locker combination because you go
so afraid of forgetting my lock combination. But my friends, older kids, staff, anybody, teachers, anybody really can help you with your lock combination, and you get the hang of it after a while. It's really not that hard now, just it's routine for me.
Yeah, I was really stressed out because I could not get it after like so many times. And I had an older sister and I kept on practicing like every day, and I finally got it. And just like a tip is to go slow and don't like try to rush it, because if you rush it, you can like, go over the number or something and you just like get annoyed with yourself because you can't open it. So just like go slow and like don't get stressed out about it. It's really not the active.
The homework and study. The transition from 5th grade to 6th grade, it's actually really not that hard. The homework, you actually have time in class to do your homework, so you don't have as much of a homework load when you get home.
And the work doesn't really get too much harder. It's kind of like a review of 5th grade, except maybe like a little more here and there, but like it's pretty simple. And you don't study the night before a test, because that doesn't study the night before a test, but also study like a week or maybe when you get your review, your packets, your notes. Make sure to take notes in some of your classes. You really have to study and really pay attention to the curriculum you're working on in class. And yeah, just like study like you said, and you'll do fine.
One of the things about 6th grade is we teach them from elementary school into middle school. Oh, by the way, I'm Kim Herman. I teach math and science. Not everybody knows me. We have a team teaching approach where the kids are forward, and it's a group of about 30 kids, 30 to 32 kids typically in a class, and those kids stay together for their 4 main core classes. So they have math and science and language arts and social studies together. They'll branch out into electives and PE at some other point in the day, but those 4 core classes, they're together. And because they're together, and I teach math and science, for instance, Suzanne Shea teaches language arts and social studies, she's the humanities teacher, our kids would go from me to her, or vice versa, and they stay together. So they have those 2 contact teachers, usually, for their main classes. And because they only have the 2 teachers, we work collaboratively together. We know the kids very well. We have parent conferences, we're both in the conferences. So, because typically what's happening in one class is happening in another class. We are not on a block schedule in 6th grade. Our kids have math and science every day. They have language arts and social studies every day. So we have with the kids for a long time to get to know them. We have, and Michelle talked about separately about the grading as we go on. The thing about middle school that we want to emphasize tonight is that it's a big change, and we recognize that. Our basic goal in middle school is to get the kids to be independent learners. They have 3 years before they get to high school. Right now, they like your help. In 3 years, probably not. And so because they don't want it, we need to embrace this fact that these kids really need to become independent learners. And 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, especially 6th grade, that is our goal. Teach them study habits. Teach them how to learn, how to take a test, how to study. We always tell them that, if you show up in 5th grade to take a test, it's vocabulary maybe, you can't do that in 6th grade. There's a lot of, the tests are much harder, there's more essay, there's more inference involved. And so we want the kids to learn how to be independent learners. We know it's scary, we know it's challenging. And at the same time, we've got these independent seeking adolescents that are trying to push us away as much as they need us, as much as they want to hold on to us. The one thing that because we work so closely together as a team, we encourage the parents as well to be part of that team. And to understand that it is a transition, and that these 3 middle years they're hard years, as far as your adolescence, but they can be amazing, fantastic years. It's only a few months away, and we look forward to having your child here with us soon.
welcome to my house. I do have to, before some of the parents and children panic, I have to correct one comment that was made about PE. We really don't do the mile once a week. It may feel like it, but we don't. But our number one goal for physical education, which by the way is back-to-back with electives. So we have them for one period and they have electives. So that's kind of a block between the two of those that's squeezed in there between all the core classes. But our number one goal is fitness. We want them to develop a lifestyle of health and wellness. And so yes, we do running. We do what we call heart work. And heart work is the different types of running that we do. We do endurance runs, which is the longer, mile, perimeter, those things that feel like more miles. The second type is a speed. So we do a lot of downhill, not downhill. Decline, shall we say, you know, just a little bit downhill. And to help them develop their speed. Short distances where they're sprinting. And then the third type is power, and that's where they have resistance. So it's either uphills, yes, really uphills. Sometimes we do the driveways out here, which is really a challenge with all the cars. The kids like to chase the cars. That build some strength and power to their running. So again, fitness is our number one goal. It does become part of their grade point average because they do get a grade. We have different things that they do. So we have skills tests, we have written tests, we have the heart work, as I said, and we also have the fact that they dress for PE every day, whether they're taking a written test or not, they're dressing. We also don't just run, we do a lot of different activities. Right now, the 6th graders are actually doing a jump rope unit. And they have various types of footwork they have to learn to do while turning the rope. So for some, that's quite the challenge. For others, they just, you know, and it's nothing. But we do sincerely look forward to your kids coming to our school and helping them to become healthy, fit, responsible individuals, more than probably me. We
have a lot of fun here. This is the best staff at this school and in the world, the entire world. It really is. We all really like each other. And we like your kids too, a little bit. No, we love your kids. Every year I come and do this speech, and every year I say, let your children fail. Let them fail. Let them fail in 6th grade. I don't think Rabbi's been talking about this, but if they get an F on a test, if they can do poorly on a test, it's better they do it in 6th grade than in 9th grade and 10th grade and 12th grade when it goes on their records. So let them learn how to be successful by making mistakes. They have to make mistakes, and this is really hard for Oak Park parents to understand because we all want to be perfect. But my kids went here, a bunch of the teachers here, children, they all went here. We've been through it. We know what you're going through or will be going through. So, academic preparation. The first months of school, we're going to be teaching them how to be Medicare students. We're going to be nurturing them. They will come to school the first day and speed through it, and then they'll go home and get on the couch with the remote and fall asleep probably, because they'll be exhausted. By Friday, they'll be like, I got this down. They'll know. They really will. And So we don't throw them into the deep end. We have a separate lunch for 6th grade so that they're not with the 8th graders who have facial hair. Unless your 6th grader does. We have study skills. We teach them all through all the classes how to take notes, how to write their homework, their assignment notebook. So the main part, one of the main things I want to stress is to please communicate with the teachers. You can email us at any time. And we get probably 10 a day. It's fine. I'd like the kids to email me and say, hey, I have a question on this. That's really helpful. And you're doing something for yourself, okay? Homework, we have about an hour a night of homework. We do a lot of it in class. Not a lot of it, but we always have an opportunity to start it. So if your child is sitting quietly and working, they'll get that done. But if they're talking with their friends, they might not. So be excited to do it. Grade, we do grade A, B, C, D, F. They're all based on points. We do have a late policy. If it's late, it's half credit, and it's 1 day late, unless you're sick. A lot of teachers have test corrections and retakes for tests. So if you bomb a test, talk to your teachers and say, hey, can I do a retake? Can I do test corrections? And they'll work with you. Homework is always posted in class and on the website too. Okay? I can't think of anything else. Any questions? No, just kidding. Sorry, that was wrong.
We're going to talk real quick about Pally Institute. This is our outdoor ed program, and this is by far the highlight of 6th grade. The kids, and we're going to, 2 kids are going to talk about it in a minute. It is absolutely the best 4 days of the year. We go up to Running Springs, California. It is Pally Institute is the name of the camp. You can go online, look up PallyInstitute.com, look at their pictures, look at their website, look at the different programs they have. Everything is related to outdoor education, leadership, and science. And we, as teachers, are allowed to choose the classes that we want the kids to take. Typically, we're up there from Tuesday to Friday. We're typically there the week after Thanksgiving. And the kids look so forward to it. They don't go home. They love it when they're up there. When we were talking to the kids about I kept saying, tell them about the food, tell them about the food, tell them about the food. Make sure you tell them about the food. Because the food is incredible, and they all, even your child that won't eat, will eat there. And come home and ask them, why can't you cook like that? It is the greatest 4 days. And we're with Zoe Berger and Daisy Calder will tell you a little bit about the highlights of out there.
Okay, so Pally Institute is really, really, really fun. So you don't really have to be scared of leaving your parents because it is really fun. I was nervous, but I had a lot of fun at Pally, and cabins are clean. They do have showers in the cabin. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the food. And just like she said, there is good food at Pally. They feed you 3 times a day. And you get seconds, so no one's going to be hungry. And you have a buffet style, you can get whatever you want. And they have options for dietary restrictions. For instance, because I'm a vegetarian and I was and you get to sit at a table with all of your cabin mates and your friends and your counselor. It's fabulous. Okay, then I'm also going to be talking about outdoor activities. So, outdoor activities were a lot of fun. We got to have leadership activities and teamworking activities. It was really fun. We got to learn about science concepts, so we'll be learning later in the year, which was helpful and cool. And so the teamworking was stressed at Pally. We had to work together and collaborate to build things and aspire to a goal. And you don't have to worry about having any athletic ability whatsoever, because I had none. I was perfectly fine.
is you'll have teacher time, which you'll show a movie, you'll go to like this room with, it'll be separated boys and girls, and you'll watch a movie. You get to become really good friends with your counselors. They're all really, really nice. Cabin time is probably the best time there because you don't have to be outside in the cold. It's cold. One night you'll have the dance night, and then the second night you'll have karaoke night, and then if you had dance night the day before, you'll have karaoke the day right after. You also meet new friends that you've never actually seen before on campus. I have friends that I hang out with at lunch that I met at
information more about Pally, and we always hold a parent night with very detailed, specific information, usually end of September, beginning of October. So watch for that. Then you'll get detailed information.
So let's just recap what we learned from the staff right there. We chase cars in the parking lot, and we don't feed them until Pally. Unless they go out the floor. We might want to restart this evening. Don't panic. In the package we handed you, with a lot of the most frequently asked questions, probably one of the biggest is about electives, and to talk about electives for 6th grade, Ms. Amanda McGarrett.
It's really terrific listening to everyone, because it's a great reflection as we look back on what has been a really terrific year that we get to introduce to you. The electives in 6th grade, you should have received the elective choice forms from your elementary teachers. They're to gap in about a week to 10 days. And essentially, our whole elective program at Media is to give both breadth, meaning introducing students to things they may not have tried, as well as depth, meaning once they find something that they enjoy, they'll have an opportunity in 7th and 8th grade to delve further into that, whether it be art or technology or music or drama and so on. So in the 6th grade, unless they are signing up for a year-long elective, and we have 3 of those, chorus, band, and student leadership, which they apply for. Unless they sign up for a year elective, they are given by the computer 2 semester electives. And oftentimes, what is listed here are the choices. It varies a little bit from year to year, but essentially those are it. It is computer generated. A lot of my job, especially this time of year, is working on the master schedule with our terrific counselors. And we want them to, again, experience a little bit, and then for 7th and 8th grade, they can select what electives they're interested in. There are some elective descriptions on the website, so you can see a little bit more about it. And then we'll be delving into this more as the summer goes on. So welcome to a great year.
One of our most impressively growing programs is our music program. And we heard a little bit about that with the support of the Friendsville Park and the programs at the high school expanding. We have really, the population has exploded with our music programs. And to talk a little bit about that, Mr. Zach Cortez, who is one of our team directors.
So yeah, music is definitely exploding out here in Oak Park. Last year, the Friendsville Park Schools, the school board, and a couple other entities, they donated about $200,000 to renovate the facilities at the high school, buy new equipment, and yes, start a marching band. We started that this year. The kids at the high school actually got to perform in a music video for the group Passenger earlier in the school year. They did that song Let It Go, if you guys are familiar with that. It's on the radio for a long time. And then just a few weeks ago, actually, the middle school, the board of approved to renovate our existing facilities, about $70,000 worth of renovations to get new instrument lockers, redo the carpet, and really get this place ready to take more people on. This year's 6th grade band class is actually the biggest we've ever had in the history, 120 band students. And so we're very excited to continue that growth, and we actually started a organization to help support this, or support band and choral students all the way from when they start in 6th grade through the end of high school is the definite goal there. So yeah, very exciting times in music, and I'll leave it at that. I know you guys have plenty of opportunity to ask questions afterwards. I'll be around as well, so looking forward to having you in the principal.
Okay, boiled down to the biggest we've heard about some of the differences. I'll tell you personally, I have 2 6th graders in my own household, twins, a boy, 1 girl. Different and very interesting perspective on this all. Again, I'll boil this down for you. Communications from middle school. You're going to ask this a lot. What happened in school today? Girls. You have to stay patient, keep reading for a while, and nod your head. Boys. This is the honest truth. I have an 8th grade boy. 8th grade boy. I had no idea what happened in 6th and 7th grade, or at least 6th grade, until my daughter came home. And she started telling me all these things, and I looked at her and go, did you do that? Yeah. So, okay. You've heard a couple things about parent involvement. Again, it is different. Everything that does change, going back to that video at the beginning, that everything does change a bit. And middle school is a process. It is not 1 year. 6th grade is not 1 year in isolation. Middle school is not in isolation. It's 6th, 7th, 8th, a continual process. Your involvement, of course, is critical. It does look different. It changes how you communicate with teachers. You're not at the door at pickup time. You're not in working in the classroom, working with centers all the time. We do have a lot of involvement in the classroom at times, but it's not like an everyday type thing. But we have all sorts of programs. We have all sorts of things run by parents. We have parents on campus constantly working even in our office. I have a picture of it coming up here. We have, as mentioned earlier, the Parent Faculty Association. We have school site council. If you're interested in being really involved in school policies and finding out what's happening on campus and in the district, I encourage people to volunteer for or sign up to be on the school site council, or even just attend some of our school site council meetings. We have all sorts of program volunteers. I think the list that I saw for our PFA just coming in so far is about 50 people just on what we have right now. Of course, we're looking for a lot of 6th grade parents to join in for next year. Campus volunteers. We're going to say over and over again, how do you start getting information now is we want you to connect to our PFA and our PFA newsletters. And then we have a weekly newsletter, just like a lot of the other schools around do. You can sign up even right now on our website and start getting the Media Creek newsletters, weekly information. We also start putting a plug out for registration volunteers if you want to come and help. We have a huge three-day event where everybody comes in and you go through registration, get everything, all the materials, all the information done on your registration days. And we would love your help to come in. We get to be on campus and see everything and kind of be involved right from the start. So there's a lot of opportunities for parent involvement. This is our student window. We have parent volunteers who come there, and you can see kids come up there for all sorts of things, wanting to see counselors, if they might need to go to the health office or see an administrator. There's some reason, or just ask questions about events that are going on campus. All right. As I said before, this is not the only time to get any information. We're giving just a general overview tonight. I'm going to be directing you to a number of things that you, by the time school starts next year, you will have a wealth of information. Yes, you will still have some questions. It's a process, not just for the kids, it's a process for parents too. We would really love to have everybody come to our open house. You can see what the classes have done throughout the year. We have a lot of student presentations, all sorts of work that's put out, and student demonstrations. So you can see everything on the campus. I know our bands and choirs are going to be playing. So I invite you on May 21st to our open house. We have a tentative date. Don't hold me to this because we have to work out with all three of the elementary schools, but we have the 5th graders actually come up. And as I mentioned earlier, they come in, we take tours around. Our student leaders bring them around and they go into classes and they show them around and answer just about any question they have for the 5th graders. By the way, some people taking pictures and stuff, this will be put up on our website, the whole presentation. And evidently the video, which is really scary. But yeah, I know. So you don't have to take pictures, this will be available to you. There's the summer schools mentioned, Camp Bonilla. The dates that we have for Camp Bonilla is August 3rd and 4th. And we started this a couple of years ago, and I really encourage you to put those dates down. We want all of the incoming 6th graders to attend this. We have a lot of our, again, student leaders who take them around. We do 2 days with a lot of fun. Some food, they get to get their lockers before the first day of school and practice their walks. We have locker boot camp and treasure hunts and scavenger hunts and all sorts of games. They get a lot of pictures. They get to know a lot of other kids besides the kids that they've just met in elementary school. So a great couple of days come out for Camp Bonilla. Then we have registration, and it's another day that you come through and you get even more information, and everything's signed up, and the campus is open, and they get to again go out and show you where their lockers are, and you get to go find out where their classes are, and so even before the first day of school, they will know every place that they need to get to. And then we don't have this date scheduled as of yet, but usually the second or third week of school, we have a back-to-school night, and we do one specifically for 6th grade. So we separate it out for everybody, just to give you even more information on any questions that you might have after that. So again, this is just to try to reassure you that by the time your students start, by the time you start as a middle school parent, you will have all the information you need. Having said that, once again, if you've not perused our website, just about every piece of information you could ever want and more is there. There's 3 things that I highlighted here. There's a student handbook, actually a student and parent handbook that is under the tab of information. If you go through that, every bit of our policies and rules and anything that you might want to know about is in our student and our parent handbook. As I mentioned again, sign up for the e-news. You get all sorts of information every week, all the calendar events, everything that's upcoming. Every week, I think they send it out on Saturday afternoon. And then some of our focus in the past few years that has been how do we maintain high academic standards and try to keep students from being overstressed, over-anxious. And we have a tab under there, there's some really good articles and ideas that we will constantly be updating about working smarter, not harder. And we've had a focus on this for the last few years, and there's some great information over there. Okay, in your packets, I want to say that if you have questions, any questions or concerns, we really are here to answer those. The first way to communicate with us, I would encourage it, is by email. I want to point out a couple couple of things, however, and always feel free to email me, Mr. Gary, particularly, and again, our emails are in there. I also have counselors in there. I always want to caution this because we tend to have, right after this evening, they get 300 emails. You're my counselor. Can I talk to you about the schedule next year? Please wait. You can email them. But they're very, very booked and busy through the end of this year. They will get to you. Please do email. But we're not going to be able to really set meetings up as of yet. We will. We will be glad to meet with you. And again, any questions or information we'll be able to answer through email at this point in time. So anyway, that is it for the evening. Again, we are all up here if you have questions now. And again, welcome to